Hey, this is Nicole Kelly, host of Loud and Proud. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Katie, co-host of Coffee with Keith and Katie here on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Coffee with Keith and Katie, where we talk about the adventures of our daily lives and relationship. A new show comes out every Tuesday and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Coffee with Keith and Katie. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
One of my favorite things to talk about is the power we have to shape our lives due to energy called the law of attraction. If you've been a part of this podcast, you know that that is true. And if you are live here on Public House Media with you, thank you so much for joining me. I am so pumped and happy to be talking to you. All week long, we've been talking about law of attraction. And my whole podcast has always been about positive mindsets, believing in yourself, having that confidence, what you focus on, you create more of, which is all really law of attraction. So I've been super excited to just name it all out this week and help you create the life that you want by design. So this morning, we're going to be talking about 10 things I wish I knew when I first started using it, and just to kind of help you walk along this path of getting what you want out of life. If you found this podcast, you're more likely interested in personal growth and you're familiar with this law of attraction, whether you really knew what it was or not. Manifesting is real, and you can live a creative and intentional life, but if you're new to the practice, it takes a little bit of work. And so I want you to be prepared for that. Something we don't often talk about is that the main reason people quit sometimes in doing this is because they get skeptical. They stop believing. They start to doubt things that are really going to be there. But I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to give up on your dreams because you think this might be a little hokey. I want you to be successful, to feel like the magic that is within you, the power that God's put there is actually real, and it is. So time to tap into those things and time to learn how to create that magic, the beautiful life that you want to live, and an easier life as well. Because when you are in the flow of life, when you are doing the things that He created you for, life can get a lot easier and a lot more intentionality goes into life. So over the past few years, I've been using this law of attraction. I've been manifesting some things. I've gone from a skeptic, asking lots of questions, to believing and receiving. My faith in Christ has grown dramatically over this. And I really believe that the more you connect to Him, the easier this gets. So just keep that in mind as well. And, I'm going to share with you 10 things today that have helped create a little bit of extra life and boost in me. And if you're new to law of attraction, keep listening. I can go back and listen to my other podcasts from the week, and just keep going through this podcast and this subscription, and we'll help you get where you want to go. So let's kind of get to the basics here. So what is law of attraction? Maybe you've missed out on the last couple podcasts. Law of attraction is basically two beliefs, and this is super oversimplified, but one is everything in the world is energy. We as ourselves, bodies, physical bodies that are here, are just molecules smushed together or vibrating at high energy levels and kind of being come together. Everything in this world has energy in it. And, the second belief is that like energy attracts like energy. So, if you believe that you are energy and that you have a certain magnitude or vibration a part of you, and then like energy attracts like energy, you can really use this to your advantage. So our thoughts are energy, and the things we want to bring into our lives are energy as well, right? Everything is energy. When the two energies are similar, they come together like a moth and a flame, or, because we can control anything else that attracts. So it's like two magnets that come together. Because we control our thoughts, right? The things that go on between the 6 inches in our head, we can control what happens in our life. to a degree, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later, but focusing on positive things brings more positive into your life. Focusing on negative things brings more negative things to your life. What you focus on, you create more of. You've heard me say that a million times over. And so understanding the law of attraction is especially important for people that have a high emotional value, especially empathetic people, because they have a natural tendency just to feel deeply. When we do a color-coded thing in our team, and they're the blue personalities, they're the high self-care, care for other people, want to serve, very much a servant mindset people. Like, they high emotions carry high energetic vibrations for everyone, but especially this group of people. And the stronger the vibration, the quicker the manifestation happens. So if you can really connect to your emotions and make your body feel and your mind feel things, you're going to get there faster. For someone who is completely unaware of these abilities and unknowingly it takes another emotion as their own, this can be kind of problematic for that. So just be thinking of those kinds of things through. So like most law of attraction stories, mine started, with really trying to improve my life. I wanted to get better at something. For me, it happens to be coaching. I did a lot of personal development. I've really grown in my faith a lot. I really started to dream dreams. I really started to get going places. I wanted to like jump into something. So, I started doing more visualizations, and, personal development helps share ideas and concepts of things that I could do. And I started to put those things in practice. Things like visualizations, affirmations, and my mood started to change. My habits started to change. I started taking care of myself more. And at first, I was kind of limited in what I was doing, but after 3-ish years of doing this lifestyle of improving, this constant improvement and this hope of improving my life over time, it's kind of come natural to practice the principles of law of attraction in my day-to-day life. So when I have happy thoughts, and I can always tell when it's working and when it's not working, because when I have positive thoughts, I have a positive day. When I have, I start really thinking about something specific that I want to achieve, it can happen. But when I let doubt and negativity and fear get into my heart, then it all kind of just washes away like a sandcastle on the beach, and you have to really go back for it. So let's talk about some of the things that you can, the 10 things that I wish I knew, right? So number 1, you will be resistant at first. Absolutely, 100%. You will be resistant at first. When you spent your first times in law of attraction, really, you're not really believing what's going to happen. And I was super hopeful and inspired at first, but I wasn't always convinced. It's taken time to really start to get to a constant reassurance where I know that this is what I want to do with my life. I know this is where it's going to be. I've had to train to believe that I have control, and I've had to be trained in believing that miracles happen, and that my faith, the more I strengthen my faith, the stronger this belief gets as well. So oftentimes things get worse before they get better. And if you get on manifesting spree and trying everything that just kind of starts to crash around you, it's just because you've learned the secret doesn't mean everything will be wonderful. And just because you've learned something difficult happens doesn't mean that the law of attraction really isn't real. Difficult times happen to increase our faith, which naturally reduces our resistance. And so to be successful at law of attraction, we need to embrace the ebb and flow of life and remain faithful during the hard times. Those hard times come into your life to test you. Those hard things come into your life to strengthen you. Struggle creates strength. And if you can strengthen your faith, strengthen your trust in Him, and strengthen those things through the hard times and continue to believe during the hard times, it only gets easier in the good times. Trust me in this. And number 2, you can't fake happy. Number 2 is you can't fake it. So the law of attraction advice tells you decide what you want, ask the universe for it, and wait. Be as happy as possible. But unfortunately, most people find the law of attraction during some time of heartbreak or loss, or some time that they're not in a happy position. And then they try to go about the wrong way. The universe responds to energy when happiness is forced and faked. The energy is forced and faked too. So happiness needs to be genuine. So the energy is genuine. Like we talked about before, everything is energy. And when you feel those emotions, you can put on a fake face and be a smile and make sure everybody around you thinks that you're happy, and have negative feelings in your heart. And that's the stuff that's going to keep coming back to you. You have to give yourself some grace. You have to give yourself some positivity and move forward in a way that you really feel happy. Happiness is not in the things around us. Happiness is inside of us. So you need to be super genuine in your energy. Feel the emotions and get through things going. Let yourself grieve if you need to grieve. Let yourself be mad if you need to be mad. Let yourself be disappointed or heartbroken. When you aren't happy, things really, really are going to kind of suck, and it's forcing happiness isn't going to make it any better. So be patient with yourself. Only return to what makes you happy when you can. And if you can return to happy things and decide that you need more happy in your life, go for it. If you need to go back to angry or sad, it's okay. But get back to a place where you can be and live the emotion. Compressing emotions and putting emotions aside just to fake it till you make it isn't ever going to work in the long run, right? So if you're not sure what makes you happy, think about the things that make you lose track of time. Think about the things that that just fill you up, the things that you could just do all day, every day, and never get tired of. Those are the kinds of things that are going to help you find your happiness, and those are the kinds of things that are going to fill your cup with joy, and that's where you can really manifest more information from. Number 3, it's all about the inner work. Outer world is a reflection of our inner world, and where you're now is a result of the thoughts that you've had in the past. So in order to change your thoughts and consequently your circumstances, you need to do the inner work required to shift your beliefs. Shifting beliefs takes work, whether it's going to therapy, whether it's reading books, whether it's getting into meditation, whether it's finding a different community of people to lift you up. You have to change, going to a different church, really connecting with Christ. Maybe it's just taking some time in prayer. What you need to do to find yourself and get unstuck or get the uncomfortable situations out, ask yourself what beliefs you have that put you into this position. What are the things that have gotten you, the thoughts and the beliefs and the habits that have gotten to where you are? And then go proactive in finding ways to create new beliefs that are in better alignment with where you want to be. I was listening to a podcast, the Life School podcast, with Brooke Castillo the other day, and she was talking about cognitive dissonance. And what that really is like when your brain gets uncomfortable, because what your brain wants you to do is go into a comfortable place. It wants you to be in homeostasis. So anytime that you push yourself out of your comfort zone, every time you get a little uncomfortable, your brain's like, whoa, let's go back to where things were. You can quit on this really big goal because, it was comfortable back here. Let's go back here. And so, but if you never push through the uncomfortable, if you never work on getting outside of that, then and really continue to work on your belief system, you're always going to go back to where you were. So remember that sometimes there's a lag between changing your beliefs and changing your circumstances. Keeping in line with what you want to have happen and staying the course, it's going to help you get to where you're wanting to go. Keep the alignment with where you want to be and never lose sight of the fact that believing supports receiving. So if you believe that you can get there, if you take action to get there and you keep moving in that direction despite the hard, despite the struggle, despite the fact that your brain wants you to go back to where it was comfortable, if you keep going, you're going to get to where you want to be, and that's the ultimate goal, right? Number 4, the universe won't move until you move. Another misconception about law of attraction is that the universe does all the work. That's wrong. Manifestation requires you to take action as well. If you want something, you have to put in the work. I think about the book, The Red Fern Grows, and that one part where the boy's trying to get the dogs, and he's like, I've prayed for dogs, and God just doesn't want me to have them. And his grandpa says, hey, have you done your part? Have you done your half? God will provide when you put in the work. So when you want to do something, you have to put in the work in order to get there. You have to submit the application. You have to take the action in your business. You have to, put in the work ethic for the fitness or the nutrition or the whatever it is that you're working on. You have to put in the time and the energy into a relationship if you want it to grow. When you are looking for the perfect partner, you need to take that date. You need to learn to say no out loud to anything that's coming your way that's blocking you from your goals. The universe is always ready to help, but it needs to see you take action and know that you're committed to this before it's going to step back and help work its magic with you as well. Manifestation is a co-creation thing. You can't just sit there and wait for things to happen. You have to take action for them to happen as well. Number 5, there's this thing called divine timing. Divine timing. Anyone know what this is? This is one of the hardest things for me to learn because as a generation expects everything in the now. We're in this like instant communication, instant information, instantaneous type world that we live in with the smartphones and the technology we have around us. So there's a plan for your life, and while you may want something to happen right away, there's a high chance that you need to learn a few lessons before something like that can happen. I was talking to this on a Zoom last night with some other coaches, and we were talking about how those of you in the podcast, just visualize this with me, that if you draw like a stair step on a piece of paper, okay, and a lot of times people want to go from that bottom step straight to the top step. But what really has to happen, unless you have really long legs like me, or you have super crazy ambitions where you're already kind of set up, it's going to be super hard to go from that bottom step to that top step of like a staircase. But if you are taking the steps necessary with patience and virtue and growing yourself and moving yourself up one step at a time, eventually you will get to the top stair. Eventually you will get to where you want to go. So remember that patience is a virtue. And when you say you've been manifesting a new job or a new city or a new lifestyle or whatever it is that you're working on, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get there. You are qualified. If you're qualified and you're determined and you stick out what it is that you're trying to do, you're going to get to where you want to go. Sometimes you just have to wait a little bit. And divine timing is always there. He has a plan for every single one of us, and we just need to trust in him and know and listen to when he's telling you to make the move, to make the move. Divine timing means when whatever you want it to mean. So divine is whether it's God or energy or soul. For me, it is Christ above and God at my Father, and he has a plan for me. I truly 100% believe that. And he is with me always, and I am with him always. But, you know, it's an overarching energy that is around with all of us. So whatever it is for you, whether that divine intervention is for you, that it's always a divine timing. We're all placed on here for this purpose. We're all placed on here with a plan, and it's up to us to tap into the energy that he's put inside of us, that perfect soul that he's put inside of us, and follow the path that he's got for us. Use it to light up your soul so you can see the path. Number 6, manifestation is not control. Okay? Too often people try to control other people with the law of attraction, and it doesn't work because it's not supposed to work that way. We all have been gifted with free will and that ability to choose how we want to live our lives. That was given to us in the Garden of Eden, remember? So no amount of practice will work if the person involved in your manifestation doesn't also want it to work. So you have to be able to really only think about things that are for you. This is to better your own life and yourself as an individual, and walk the path that God's created for you, not for other people. Number 7, life is 100 times better when the universe arranges it for you. When you are trying to do things that feel forced, when you're trying to do things that on your own time instead of his time, it doesn't always work out, right? You probably are going to fall on your face. You're going to come up against more roadblocks. No matter how sure I am of something, the universe always surprises me with something new, something better, something I could have never imagined. Because, you know, we're not always supposed to know what our path is going to be. We're just in the knowing that we have now. The universe knows you better, and then you know yourself. God knows you better because he created you. So please, let him do his thing. Being rigid is the fastest way to squash a manifestation. So be open to what God has for you. Be open to what the universe sends your way. Remember, rejection is protection, and anything that is lost will always be replaced with something better. When the door closes, the window will open. When a relationship ends, there's somebody else better for you. Believe in with what your whole heart, what you want to happen in your life, and it will come. You just have to wait for his timing. You just have to know that whatever he has planned for you is 100 times better than what you're arranging in your own life with your own limited knowledge. Number 8, letting go is a skill, and one that can be absolutely learned. Letting go of something you desperately want is one of the most challenging things we'll ever experience as human beings. Unfortunately, letting go of what isn't meant for you is the key to manifesting what really is meant for you. Fortunately, though, letting go is a skill that you can learn. And you can learn all kinds of these things, like reading books like The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and embracing minimalism in your space and in your life, and really thinking about what you're honing in on your specific skills that you want to learn, thinking about the space that you provide yourself to be in, making relationship goals, creating the friendships that you want to create, and really letting go of the things that don't serve you. So if you, one of my great mentor, Trina Gray, talks about 6 roles of life. And when I first heard this, I was like, 6 roles? Like, that's not enough. Like, I do a million things in a day. And when you really simplify it down to the 6 roles in your life, and you only act on things in your life that are going to support those 6 roles, your life just improves so much better. So my 6 roles are, I am a child of God, so my faith is important to me. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I am a school administrator. I am a coach, and I'm a CEO. Like I own my own business. And so I'm also a community member, and I do lots of other things in this world. But if they don't align to those 6 roles, it's going to be very hard to fit them into my life. And I'm going to feel jaded in some way. Sometimes they're going to have to be there. So the more that you can let go of the things that aren't serving you, aren't helping you reach your goals, the faster and better other things are going to come into your life that you knew that were meant to be for you. Number 9, you are supported beyond belief. You are not alone in on any of this. And if you knew how many helpers, angels, guides, ancestors, people in your current world that you had on your side, people that are rooting for you that maybe you don't even know that are rooting for you, you'd never worry again. Learning to communicate with Christ, learning to communicate with the people around you really helps you manifest things tenfold. So asking for signs that you are on the right path, and that manifestation is close to helping you keep close to your faith, spending more time getting connected to your team, knowing that where you are going and that they're always there with you. God is omnipresent. He is with you 24/7, 365 days a year. Whether you're awake, whether you're sleeping, whether you're mad, whether you're angry, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, He is always there for you. And there's that Footprints in the Sand poem where when you're walking along and all of a sudden there's only 2 feet instead of 4, those aren't the times that He's left you. Those are the times that He's carrying you. And those are the times that you really need to know that you are supported beyond belief. And you have all this power around you and within you that can help you move forward in the way that you want to be. And so number 10, the final one, you are not responsible for everything that happens in your life. 100% no. And you might be thinking like, what? Wait a second. This is completely contradicting everything else that you've said. But think of it this way. It's kind of that way. But and that's why I left this one to the very end, and why I want to talk about it now, is it's the most important point to make. When I started working on these kinds of things, when I have experienced some really crappy things in my life, there are things in this world that happen, there are tragedies that happen, there are diseases that happen, there are going to be hard things that happen in your life. And you need to know that you are not in control of everything in your life. That bad things will happen. We are not guaranteed an easy life. We are not guaranteed a smooth sailing. In fact, we're guaranteed struggles. We're guaranteed to have some struggles in our life, some things that are put there to help strengthen us, to help guide us. Remember above, to help you let go of some certain things. So when you're practicing law of attraction, you're not necessarily working on creating an easy life for yourself. You're working on creating a belief and a concept that you can make it through anything, and that you can manifest the positive things in your life to see things come to fruition. But there are going to be things that come your way that you don't have control over. There's going to be things there, like I said earlier, you can't control other people. So there are going to be things that happen to you intentionally or unintentionally that you just don't have control over. So if you are intentionally practicing law of attraction, and you start to have bad things happen in your life, but know that it's not that you're attracting those things. That sometimes it's just things that happen. So when you can kind of think about, this is law of attraction is manifestation. Think of it as gardening, not architecture. So you're not building a life, you are grooming a life. Does that make sense? So bad things are going to happen to people because we're just here on this earth, and we live in a broken world, and we live in a broken society, and we live on a world that is not perfect. But knowing that what you are, understanding that bad things happen to people, but we have growth through that pain. We have growth and strength that comes from struggles. So manifesting is understanding that we have power to create our lives, while also understanding there are some things that we're completely out of control, and we just have to work on moving through them. So Slade Robertson had this quote. It says, "We are here to practice transcendence, the level of meaning, purpose, and joy that you can find, infuse, or muster, in spite of everything that happens around you. This is a reflection of your spiritual effort. Manifesting is more like gardening than architecture. It's grooming the things that you have. It's growing the things that will grow there, and not building necessarily something that's gonna be there for you." So, you can authentically crave a depth of knowledge. You can sometimes get overwhelmed when you see a lot of law of attraction information being plastered all over the web and being presented to you in lots of different ways. And you can really take it as you want. You can make it a surface level thing, or you can really dive deep and really be willing to go deeper and understand the energy laws and its limitations, and find real success with some of these things. And as anything else, this takes time and patience, and I hope that you can come to make something come to fruition for yourself. You can learn to find your purpose, light the light that's deep inside of you. Let it shine bright for all to see, and find the path that God's created for you. So it's so worth it. And when you find that creative being, when you find that intentional life that's available to you, you just know that you need to work a little bit for it, and allow yourself to be a better person. Never allow yourself to be a victim of your circumstances. Instead, learn about the law of attraction and find ways that are always there for you to take forward an action of your life, and move in a way that is not only connects you to Him, but connects you to His power, and connects you to your purpose, and helps you move forward in a positive, uplifting way. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know this was kind of deep this week, and I hope, though, that it's really helped you find a new way of thinking, and you give it a try. And even if you try something small like a parking space, or you go something a little bit bigger with a relationship, or you really go hog wild and go for your deep purpose in life, it's going to take some time. But the more you practice that, the better you'll get. The more emotion you bring to it, the better it'll be. And the more connected you get to your Father in heaven, the better it will be as well. So thanks so much for joining me. Make sure you've hit subscribe, like, share, love, comment below, tag somebody in this that needs to hear it, share it to your page. It would be greatly appreciated. Come to Choose to Rise as well, and check us out there. We're at Choose to Rise Up on Facebook, and you can shoot me a message or an email. I'd love to hear your feedback on this, and maybe what it is that you've gotten into your life because of the law of attraction, or your faith in Christ, and all those kinds of things. So you can contact me at chooseToRiseUp@gmail.com, or head to chooseToRiseUp.com to see more information about joining my team or connecting with me there as well. So I hope to see you back here on Public House Media on Choose to Rise as well, and see you all later. Have a fabulous weekend.